Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Mm. It is before 6 a.m. You know, I feel like the Marines. We do more before 5 a.m. than most people do all day. I'm not sure that's great. Really a great selling point. That's at least one of the mottos that they used to have. Because I got to be honest, I've been up for over an hour and out in the workshop having to do some pieces before I hit the road. And I'm not sure I want to do everything before 5 a.m. I'm surprised I'm this wide awake at the moment, but coffee, that's a hell of a drug. I could really have a coffee IV just dripping in my arm all day, and I think it'd be good for me. But I've got to hit the road. I've got, I'm always busy. I got to hit the road and take care of some stuff. I got to meet an appraiser to let him into a property and um, get the building permit for the red brick house. So we're going to be starting to work on that, as well as some other projects and things. And got to take care of some trash. No, I'm not talking about the Washington Commanders. I've got a dump trailer that I got to get a hitch for. So I've got some things that we're definitely working on right now. But anyway, that's not why you tuned in. But I wanted to get this out before I left because I'll be on the road and it'll take forever to upload. So, here's what we know with the Dallas Cowboys. There truly has to be a lot to the story of Amari Cooper not fitting in with the Cowboys culture or with worth ethics and things. And I'm not trying, listen, I am not trying to trash Amari Cooper. I am not. I read the comments where people are saying, here it is, Dak Prescott done ruined another wide receiver. Okay, whatever you have to say. But this has basically been now the second time that what's happened with Amari Cooper has happened, because you could look at this and feel like this is deja vu from where he was with the Raiders, where for whatever reason the relationship went downhill. It wasn't that he lost his skills, for whatever reason the Raider organization and Amari Cooper and Derek Carr just no longer clicked. They did some good things at first for a few years, and then things went downhill. We don't know, and we will never know. This is only speculation, is all we have to go by. But what we know is that the Cowboys, looking at the production versus the cost that they were paying, and whatever, they said, we need you in crunch time, when it becomes playoff time. And we can look at this from before, towards the end of the season a couple of years ago, where Amari Cooper had this saying that, people would say he doesn't show up on the road. And late in the season, we had the same thing. We had, the clean out surgery on his foot. And, he wasn't able to perform until late in training camp. Whereas you looked at Dak, who was having a multitude of injuries, the literally the broken ankle, and he's there. I'm not saying that there is or isn't anything in there, but for the Cowboys to look at the potential ability of Amari Cooper and to give him away, and now if what we're hearing is true, that they were looking at trying to get another receiver and stuff, then you have to say, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Because when we looked at the trade that was made between Miami and New England, you can't look and say that that guy is better than Amari Cooper. And the fact that a third round draft pick was given up for him versus a fifth for Amari, it just does not add up. Be that as it may, it's water over the dam, and there's nothing we can do about changing what happened with that situation. We can only deal with this moment forward. And so right now there are some uh, receivers that are out there that could be potentially gotten if the team does want to make a trade. And one of those players out there is Brandon Cooks, wide receiver with the Texans. Now, the Texans apparently want a second round draft pick for him. Looking at his numbers, he's not a spring chicken anymore, of course, because, we're talking about a guy who was drafted in 2014. He's 28 years old, not much older than what Amari Cooper was. Basically, I think a year older than Amari Cooper. Now you're talking about a second round draft pick, and you're looking at the numbers. Now, let's be clear with the Texans. They didn't exactly have premier quarterbacks last year, and they were probably behind in a lot of games, in which case they passed a lot. His numbers last year were 1,037 yards. So with garbage quarterbacks, 90 receptions, it's not bad at all. 6 TDs. We look at Amari Cooper, I believe, had 10 TDs and 885 yards, missing 2 games last year. But you can look at Brandon Cooks, who's been in the league since 2014, who has been a bit of a journeyman kind of wide receiver or a hired gun, playing with New Orleans for 3 years, playing with New England for a year, 2 years with the Rams, and then 2 years with the Texans. Maybe you look at it and say, he's a 2-3 year solution for the Cowboys. Definitely experienced. And you can say he's worked with some really good coaches as far as working with, of course, Sean Payton, Sean McVay, Bill Belichick. You can definitely say he is a experienced, seasoned wide receiver. When you look at his numbers since 2015, his second year, 1,138 yards, 3.5 yards per completion. The next year with the Saints, 1,173 yards. The next year, 1,082 yards. The next year after that, 1,204 yards. The only year that he's been under 1,000 yards since his rookie year was 2019, and I think he might have been injured. Let me look up that real quick. He's 5'10", about 185 pounds. Not a big guy, one of those Smurf kind of wide receivers like they used to call him back in the day. I think he was injured in 2019 with the Rams. No, he played in 14 games with the Rams. My bad. Okay. Probably just in the backup role. So a guy who has stayed healthy, um, in his career. He is 28 years old. It would cost you a second round draft pick. Um, will the Cowboys do that? I don't know. Um, if you did get a guy like that, that opens the draft up a little bit more for you as far as um, getting players. You could look at it from the standpoint and say, Brandon Cooks, second round pick. If I'm thinking I need to get a wide receiver, can I get a day one rookie for a second round pick that's going to be able to do what he can do as far as experience goes? My bet is probably not out the box. Very rarely. I mean, there are Justin Jeffersons that are there. Justin Jefferson, of course, being a first round pick that came out of the box ready to go and rock and roll. But you look from the standpoint of saying if it's a second round pick, which for the Cowboys is not exactly, is it a 50th pick? I think 40. What pick is that? 32 and no, it's like a 50 pick. It's too early in the morning. So you look at that and say, Brandon Cooks for a couple of years for a second round pick. What can I get for a second round pick in the draft that's going to be ready to start day one? It'll be a cheaper guy because he's on a rookie contract. But experience wise and being able to make plays right now, more than likely, probably not. Because typically you have the learning curve for a rookie coming in. Generally speaking, the first half of a rookie season usually isn't that good, and they start getting better in the second half. And the thing for the Cowboys is they need from day one somebody who can play immediately, because you're not looking at having Michael Gallup probably till middle way of the season. I know the Cowboys say, oh, he'll be ready week 2 or 3. I don't know how you can project that he's going to be ready week 2 or 3 from here, where he's literally only a month away from having surgery. To me, if you're saying that, that's probably best case scenario, and you need to prepare for the worst and hope for the best and go from it from that standpoint. So we'll see if something happens on this one. This is maybe more of Dallas Cowboys rumors where we just get suckered in. And believe me, we're always suckered in on, the Cowboys are going to get this player and that player. And at some point, you just got to say, whatever. It's not happening. All right, y'all. I have to get ready to get on the road. And as always, I appreciate y'all. See you soon.